Welcome. I think everyone's been to this class a few times, so if you have any injuries or anything, please let me know. Otherwise, we will get started. We're gonna start sitting on our yoga block, and we're gonna start with just some breathing to get in the present moment. Good. You can cross the legs here, however is comfortable for you. You can also sit on the floor if that's better. We can close our eyes and just focus on our breathing to start. Hands can be on the knees. And start inhaling and exhaling, thinking about where that breath is starting. You want it to start behind that belly button, traveling up through the lungs. That breath hits your chest last, and out the same way. You want a nice proud position through that torso. Nice long drawn out breaths for 1 or 2 more here. On your next inhale, you're gonna raise up your arms above your head towards the sky. And we're gonna exhale, reaching over to that right side, finding a twist through that spine. Back hand can rest on the floor. And we're gonna hold here for a couple of deep breaths. Every exhale, you're twisting a little bit deeper into that spine. Holding it there, one last deep inhale. Exhale, twisting a little bit further. On your next inhale, raising those arms up, twisting back to center. And same thing on the other side. Exhaling over that leg, finding a twist through the spine. We'll take last deep inhale and exhale here. On your last exhale, twisting back even further. And on that next inhale, coming back to center, raising your arms up nice and high. We're gonna grab one wrist and bring that arm up and over to the side, finding a stretch through the side of your body here. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And we can switch sides, coming back through the center, grabbing onto that other wrist, bringing that arm up and over to that other side. Last deep inhale. And exhale, bringing those arms back down onto the knees. We're gonna do a cat and cow seated. So we're gonna start rounding through that spine, tucking that chin in towards the chest, and then bringing that chest to the front. Every time you go back with that spine, exhaling. Trying to emphasize that range of motion through that spine. So trying to move as big as you can here, rounding, and then flexing forward. Moving with your breath here, trying to get some high quality breaths in before we go a little bit faster into some more movements. We'll do last 2. We'll go last 1. Take last deep breath. And from there, we're gonna open our eyes. We're gonna take that block away from us and go into that downward dog position. So just reaching forward onto the floor. Hips are gonna come up. We're gonna take a small step back, press into our hips and shoulders here, slight bend in those knees. We're gonna start flexing down one heel at a time. Good. Holding it there. From there, we're gonna take up that left leg nice and high. Keep pushing through those shoulders. We're gonna put a bend in that left knee. We're gonna open up that left hip by bringing that left foot behind that right glute. So you're finding a little bit of a back bend already. We're gonna start bringing that right heel up and off the ground onto your tippy toes, then back onto the floor. So going down from your heel up to your tippy toes on that right standing foot. Trying to find a small circle being made through that hip. So that foot falls behind that glute each time, one direction in those circles. And we're gonna switch directions. Still breathing here, strong shoulders. We're gonna go last circle. We're gonna tilt those hips back to center, still single leg downward dog, left leg is up nice and high. We're gonna step halfway to our hands. Good, halfway step. And we're gonna cross that step over to that right side, so my left foot is completely off the mat on my right side. We're gonna push back up into that downward dog position, finding a stretch through that side of the thigh, through that lower back. Couple of deep breaths here. Last deep inhale. We're gonna exhale, bring those hips back forward slightly, and we're gonna follow that leg through all the way to the other side until that butt touches the floor. Right hand on the head, and then we're gonna come all the way back up through single leg downward dog. Good. We're gonna let that leg come all the way over to the other side, going into that back bend. Land that foot on the floor, butt touches the ground. Perfect. And we go up again. So single leg downward dog is always that middle transition position. Step halfway through the hands, cross all the way over, touch that butt to the floor, and then going all the way back up again, single leg downward dog, peeling open that leg, landing, good. So finding a bit of a circle, bit of a flow here. Feel free to go as slow as you need to, finding your own pace. Using that breath. Good. Purpose here is to get that body nice and warm, get a lot of blood flow through the whole body. Good. Every time you land your glute onto the floor, you're gonna bring that free hand up onto your head, opening up that chest. Good. Let's do one or two more and then we'll get off that side. Let's go last one. After that last one, let's meet up at single leg downward dog with that same leg up in the sky. Good. From there, let's bring it down, cross that left leg over that right knee into a twisted position. Good. Put that right knee on the floor here with that leg still crossed in front, pushing back into child's pose. Good. Resting your shoulders here, taking a few deep breaths. Good. Catch your breath here, relax the shoulders before we move on to the other side. Good. Hang the head down, neck is not holding on to any tension. We'll take a last deep inhale here. And exhaling, coming back up into downward dog. Shake out those knees for a second, heels alternate down towards the floor. We're gonna move to the other side. So right leg is gonna come up nice and high. We're gonna find a bend in that right knee. Open up that right hip towards the side and start moving up and down out of that left heel on the floor, finding a circular motion through your hip. Good, one direction for now. And we're gonna switch directions. We'll do last circle here. And we'll move those hips back into single leg downward dog on that right side. Stepping halfway to our hands, bringing that foot across to the left side of the mat. Good, so my foot is outside of the mat. Pressing back into that downward dog again. Finding a stretch to that right side of the thigh. Good, hips can come up a little bit higher. Pushing through those shoulders. Good. Breathing there for a moment. Last deep inhale. And exhaling, we're gonna push that foot all the way through and opening up that left arm, putting that left hand on the head. Good, glute touches the floor. Coming back up through to that single leg downward dog. Opposite direction, leg goes all the way back behind you until you're going into that semi-back bend. Tap the glutes on the floor, and then coming back up. Over the time that we do this, I want you guys to move a little bit bigger through each rep. So think of yourselves as getting warm into that movement and trying to find that really big range of motion through both of those turns. Keep this going. Good. Nice, strong, controlled movements. We're not falling onto the ground. We're lowering ourselves down with control. Good, let's do another 1 or 2 more. Good. Let's do last one. From wherever you are, let's meet at single leg downward dog for one more push here. Pushing up that right side, crossing that right leg in front of that left, coming down onto that left knee and pushing back into child's pose here. Couple of deep breaths. Relax those shoulders. This doesn't need to be too active through the upper body. You want to give those shoulders a bit of a rest. Good. We'll take last deep inhale here. Exhaling, we're gonna come back through and just find a seated position on the mat. Now that we're nice and warm, we can go a little bit more into the hip flexors, similar to what we did last week. Keep that yoga block close by. We're gonna start by hugging in that right leg. You're gonna hug underneath with that right arm, put that right hand on top of that left upper arm, and hug that knee in, okay? Left leg is out straight. We're gonna start on that left side, okay? So I'm kind of hooked around like this. Right arm under that right knee. We're gonna start by lifting up that left leg, toes pointed up, squeeze up, and coming back down. Good. Squeezing up, coming back down. Perfect. Just go at your own pace here, but I want you guys to focus on that pace of the movement. It's gonna be equal pace up, equal pace down, okay? So we're not shooting up, falling back down. Nice and controlled, same amount of timing on each side. Perfect. Good. What we're doing by hugging that knee in is isolating that movement into the hip flexors. So I want you guys to start focusing on this part of the body. Perfect. Good. Let's do another 6. Knee straight if we can. 5. 4. Good. 3, a little bit higher on those lifts. Last 2. Last one, we're gonna hold it up in the air 10 seconds. Good. Find that control, find that squeeze through that hip flexor. 5, 4, a little bit higher. 3, 2, 1. Good. Rest, shake it out for a second. We're gonna open up that leg outside of the mat, about 45 degrees outside of the mat. And we're gonna do that same thing, starting to lift and lower. Good. Feel free to squeeze onto that knee as much as you need to. Keeping that knee close is gonna prevent you from rounding through that spine, which is what we want. We do not want to use that upper body to compensate. Good. Let's lift a little bit higher for another 6. 5. Good. Let's do another 4. Little bit higher here, another 3. Good. Another 2. Last one, we're gonna hold it up 10 seconds. Holding it there, little bit higher, another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. From there, staying on that leg, we're gonna grab that yoga block and put it on the side of our mat, okay? You can choose whatever height you want. You can start low or you can go straight up to that highest setting. And we're gonna move that leg hovering over that yoga block. We're gonna tap that heel on the outside, inside, and back. Okay, so hitting those 2 points we just did before, straight to the front, out to the side. Good. Try to lift nice and high here, as high as you can. You guys look great. Let's do another 8, 7, good you guys. Another 6, another 5, last 4, Good. Last 3, hugging that knee in nice and close to the chest. Last 2. Last 1, and we hover that heel above that yoga block, 10 seconds. Good. Holding there a little bit higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. We got that other side to go. Shake it out for a second if you need to. Yoga block can lay on the side for now, okay? Hugging in that left leg, bringing it close to that chest, left arm underneath that left knee, and holding on there just like we did before. Right leg out to the front, gonna start lifting and lowering. Straight knee if we can, let's go for it. Good. Nice. I did our right side second because a lot of us have the right side dominance. You might feel like the side's slightly easier, but maybe not, everyone's different. Let's do another 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1, and we hold up for 10. 9, 8, 7, squeezing a little bit higher. 4, 3, 2, 1, great. Out to the side, 45 degrees, shake it out for a second. Maybe reset that positioning, and we're gonna go for it with those simple lifts to start. Good, lifting nice and high. Again, thighs should be almost touching that chest, if not touching that chest. Good, you guys. Beautiful, let's do another 6. Maybe trying to hold it in the air for half a second if we can. Yeah, good, nice. Let's do last 3. Good. Last 2. Last 1, and we hold it up for 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5. 4, a little bit higher. 2, 1, and rest. Good, we got last one on this side. Set up that yoga block as you did on the other side, okay? And hugging in that knee. Let's go for those hovers before we stretch out these hip flexors, okay? Starting with that heel in front, up and around that yoga block, tapping each side, about 10 of these. If you're finding this really challenging, probably a good sign to do this a couple times a week, 2 or 3 times a week. Good. Let's do last 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Let's go into that hold, hovering that heel above that yoga block, 10 seconds. Another 5, a little bit higher. 4, 3, good. 2, 1, and rest. Good, you guys. Shake it out for a second. And we're gonna go into that downward dog again. We're gonna flex out those hip flexors or extend those hip flexors in a moment. Reach into that downward dog when you're ready. Meet me there. Pressing through those shoulders, hips are up nice and high. We're gonna start with that left leg, pushing up into that single leg downward dog again, and bringing it forward into that lunge, landing outside of that left hand, bringing that right knee down towards the mat. Good. Pressing down those hips, nice proud chest at the front here. And exhaling, coming back through, big reach through that downward dog. And then that leg comes forward again, this time landing in the middle of your hands. Same proud positioning at the front, so putting that chest out, good. Knee on the floor in the back. And then again, we're gonna keep doing that, switching from outside to inside. Good. When you're ready, going into that inside forward lunge, getting 2 different areas of that lunge. But I want you guys to focus on pressing that weight down towards the mat as you're in that forward lunge. You should be feeling some release, some extension through that back right hip flexor and quad. Good. Let's do another 1. That next time that you land in that wider lunge, so that next time your left foot is outside of your hands, you're gonna go down onto the floor, reach back with that left hand, grab that right foot behind you, hug it in towards the glutes, just for a half second, good. And release, coming back through into that downward dog. Let's do a couple of those before we build. So going into that outside lunge again, reaching back, hugging that foot in. Good, straight back into that downward dog single leg. Following your breath here, exhaling as you go into that single leg downward dog. Good. Every rep is getting a little bit bigger, so you're trying to emphasize each rep to move a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. Good, let's do last two. Let's do last one. On that next one, you can meet me in that forward lunge position, grabbing onto that back foot, bringing it in towards the glutes. We're gonna hold it there. Everyone's weight is gonna be shifted down into the hips. So if you're up here, really trying to think about pushing those hips down towards the floor, we're gonna pulse in that foot towards the glutes for 15 seconds here. Good. Breathing into that stretch. We're letting go of tension on each exhale. Another 5, 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna release, going back into that downward dog. Shake out those knees for a second. We're not done with that side. We're gonna go back into that single leg downward dog and forward again, this time in that narrow lunge, landing inside of your hands, same leg. Once we get there, we're gonna have our hands framed on our leg, or on our foot, around our foot, yep. And we're gonna drop that left knee out to the side, coming back up, and then into that single leg downward dog. So single leg downward dog between each rep. As you drop that knee out to the side, trying to pull that knee away from you, like an imaginary string is pulling that side of the knee towards the floor, away from your body. Good, we're not shifting that body weight into that knee. That knee is pulling away from the center of our bodies. Good. Each rep getting a little bit deeper. Good, let's do another 3 here. Nice, you guys. Good. Finding that control, that connection. Let's do last 1 or 2. Let's do last one. We'll drop that knee to the side. We're gonna come back up to the center with that knee. We're gonna walk that left foot all the way over to where our right hand is. Lay that knee down, and I want you guys all to stay in 90 degrees with that front leg, okay? Even if it looks really sloppy behind you, find that 90-degree angle with that front knee, okay, as best as we can. Of course, if you're in pain or something's holding you back, tuck it in a bit more. But if we can, even if you're sitting on the side, actually I want you guys to sit on the side, okay, so we don't need to be up here. Knees on the floor, perfect. And we're gonna find a slight twist over that front left knee, okay? So you guys will be doing the opposite to what I'm doing, but I'm gonna be here, yes. Putting that front hand, yes, kind of crossing over, finding a bit of a twist, and then eventually going nice and low, or as low as you can, finding a nice stretch through that left thigh, left glute, perfect. So feel free to sit onto that glute. You can sit onto that side, exactly. Try to open up that knee a little bit more if you can. Perfect, better. So this is by no means a perfect pigeon. We are doing a variation, trying to find a stretch in that left thigh. Good. Maybe a bit of opening through that left knee. Holding it there, inhales and exhales. Every exhale, you're letting go of a bit of tension from wherever you're holding on. Maybe it's through that neck, through that spine, or somewhere else. We'll take last 2 or 3 deep breaths here. We'll take last deep inhale. Exhaling, we're gonna come back up, staying in that position with that front leg. Now trying to set up into that proper pigeon pose, so trying to get both hips equal on both sides as best as we can. If this is not working for you, from here you can move that foot in closer to you again. If not, maybe trying to stay at 90 as best as you can. Knee and butt on the floor. And we're gonna crawl straight over ahead of us, folding into that pigeon, finding maybe a deeper stretch here through that left thigh, through that left glute. Good, feel free to use that block underneath your forehead or underneath those elbows if you need a bit more support. We'll take last 2 deep breaths here. We'll take last deep inhale. And exhaling, coming back up to those hands, back into downward dog. We're gonna flip over to the other side, pressing through that downward dog first. Give a couple of those heel flexes, shake those legs out for a moment. Deep breath here. And on that exhale, bringing that right leg up nice and high, and then starting with those lunges. So forward into that lunge, back left knee on the floor, chest up nice and proud. When you're ready, going back again, and this time landing in between the hands. Good, switching from inside to outside of the hands here. Trying to press that back hip on that left side down towards the floor. Good. Working with your breath here, finding your own pace. Good, you guys. Couple more here. Opening up those hips, especially through that front hip flexor. Good, let's do last 2. We'll go last one from wherever you are. Meet me in that wider forward lunge, so foot outside of the hands. Back left knee on the floor, reaching back, right arm grabs that foot, pulls it in close, straight back into that single leg downward dog. Exhaling as that leg comes up, inhaling forward, exhaling as you grab back. Good, keep this going. Keep it up, we got a couple more of these. Good. Nice, you guys. And each rep is trying to improve just a little bit. So even if you pull that foot in a millimeter closer, we're trying to challenge ourselves with that flexibility component here. Let's do last 2. We'll go last 1. After your last one, you can meet me in that forward lunge position, grabbing that back foot. We're gonna pull it in nice and close to that glute. Think about where that weight is shifted. Shouldn't be too far up here. Pulling those hips down towards the floor. We're gonna pulse that foot in for 15 seconds. Good. Another 10 seconds, pressing down into that quad on that left side. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release that back leg straight back into that downward dog. Flex out those knees for a second. Leg comes back up, same side. Forward lunge, landing inside of the hands this time. Back left knee on the floor, framing that foot with your hands. Right knee drops out to the side, maybe touches the floor if we can. Back to center. Downward dog, single leg comes up. Using your breath, moving with your breath. Good. Pulling that right knee away from you like a string is pulling it towards the floor, away from the body. Good, you guys. Nice. Maybe noticing one side if it feels a lot different than the other. Good. Using that core to bring that knee to the front as well. Let's do last 2. Good. Let's do last 1. Knee or foot is in the middle of our hands here. We're gonna walk that foot all the way over to that opposite hand. Perfect. Lay down that knee, find that 90-degree position in that front knee. Sit on your glute on that right side. Can be sloppy with the legs out the back, don't worry about those. We're gonna find that twist position and lower yourself towards the floor. We're gonna hold here for about a minute. Every exhale falling deeper into that stretch. Good. You don't feel it? It's okay. If you don't, it's probably because you're really flexible. You should feel a bit of a stretch in here. It looks good though. Yeah, solid. Good. You can even bring your body a bit more over, like that, like twisting. I don't feel it. Okay, then you can go back here. Yes.
Thank you.
No worries. Good, you guys. Holding there, a couple more deep breaths. Take last 2 deep inhales here. On that last exhale, coming back up to center, trying to straighten out that back leg as best as you can behind you. Getting those hips equal on both sides here. Nice proud chest, proud upper body before you lay all the way down straight in front. Going back into that holds. Couple of deep inhales and exhales here. Finding that stretch through that right side of the body. Again, if that knee is bothering you, you can tuck that foot in a bit closer to the body here. We'll take last 2 deep breaths. We'll take last deep inhale. And we're gonna exhale, coming back up from there and finding a seated position. Grab a little drink if you need it. We're gonna continue on with the hips today. We're gonna find that butterfly position when you're ready on the floor. You can sit on the block for this one, but we're gonna be moving the legs quite a bit, so it might not be super comfortable. But if you need to sit on the block, go for it. In that butterfly position, we're gonna start by bringing the feet pretty close into the center of the body, trying to press those hips or knees down towards the floor. And then we're gonna let go of the feet, just have those hands hovering somewhere in front. And we're gonna start bringing one foot out to the side, other foot out to the side, opening up nice and wide, all the way back in, all the way back in. Yes. Trying not to move the torso too much here. So we're trying to imagine our back is glued to a wall behind us and it can't peel off. Good. And we're trying to lift those feet as high as we can off the floor as we move in and out. Good. Got a couple more here. A lot of hip flexors today. I know we focus a lot on hips anyways in this class, but wanted to get a bit deeper in today. Good, you guys. Let's do another 4. Another 3. Good. Last 2. We got last 1. Let's meet with our feet together and just work. You guys will work your left leg. I'm gonna work my right. So mirroring me, out with that left leg, all the way back in. So one leg the whole time, left leg out and in. Good. Trying to control that heel also dropping to the floor. We don't want it to slam on the ground. Try to lower with control. Let's do another 4. Nice proud upper body. 3. Good. Another 2. Last 1. And we're gonna meet with that leg out, Let's bring that left foot in a little bit closer to the body. We're gonna face our torso towards that straight leg. Reach for that foot, grab onto that foot, drop that head towards the leg, and then coming back up, bringing that hand behind you, reaching over, lifting those hips up into that mini bridge. Good, and then sitting back down, doing that same exact thing. Grabbing on, bringing that forehead down, and exhaling. You can think about as you transition from one end point to the other, you can inhale, but as you get to those end points, you can exhale into that stretch. As time passes, maybe getting a bit deeper into that stretch, especially that forward fold, grabbing onto that foot. Let's do last 3. Last 2. Good, we got last 1. That next time you reach for your foot, we're gonna go into that hold. So chest faces that foot here. We're not too twisted through that torso. We're just thinking about hinging forward. Chest reaches for that leg and finding a stretch. If you want more of a challenge, you can flex that foot up to the sky, maybe even peel those toes back with your hand. But wherever you are, enjoying that stretch for the next minute here. Feeling it through the back of that left leg. Relaxing that upper body. Shoulders don't need to be active here. Good. Relaxing the traps, relaxing the neck. Good. Focusing on your breath. Deep inhale. And exhaling, reaching forward. Good. Take a deep inhale. And exhaling, reaching forward. Good. Couple more deep breaths here, you guys. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhaling down forward towards that leg. Good. Nice deep inhale here. And exhaling down a little bit further. Good. Holding it there, you guys. Nice deep inhale. And exhaling, reaching down. Good. 1 or 2 more deep breaths here, you guys. Take last deep inhale. And exhaling, slowly coming up from there. We're gonna stay on that same side, just opening up that leg out as wide as you can go. Okay, so maybe find some room if you're gonna hit your neighbor. And we're gonna do that same thing, but now reaching that opposite hand over to maybe touch that toe if we can. And then coming back other way, reaching through that oblique. So finding a bend through the side of your torso here, and reaching again. Give yourself a few reps to get loose into that movement. Find that extension through the sides of your torso here. So it's not just that shoulder reaching, it's your whole side of the body through the ribs. Yes, reaching through. Exhaling as you get to each end point position. Inhaling as you transition through the middle. We'll do last 2. We'll do last 1. On that next one, we're gonna find that reach position towards the foot. Gonna grab onto that foot if we can. If not, just hover there. Or you can take a piece of clothing, if you're taking your shirt off, for example, tie it around your foot and hold on like that, okay? But wherever you are, we're gonna be here for about a minute. Feeling the leg on this one potentially, but also a lot through that side. That right side of the torso, oblique. Relax your head if you can. You can even look down at that leg if that's more comfortable. Deep breaths here. Falling a little bit deeper into that stretch for these last 3 breaths. We'll take last deep inhale. And exhaling, slowly coming back from there. Very nice work. Let's switch over to the other side. So other leg is gonna come in towards the pelvis, and we're gonna start with those ins and outs on that leg first, okay? So coming in to that butterfly and out again. So getting a bit of blood flow into that hip before we go into our deeper stretches. Good. If we're feeling good, take those hands off the foot and try to move with control without compensating too much from that back or torso. Good. Yes. Trying to lift that foot up nice and high. Let's do last 3. Last 2. Lifting up that foot nice and high for this last 1. And reach that foot out, kind of halfway between the front and the side. We're gonna go into those reaches first, bringing that head down towards the leg, coming back with that opposite hand, reaching up, bridging those hips up into that mini back bend, sitting back down, reaching forward again. Again, trying to notice as these reps pass, if you're getting a bit deeper into that stretch, which is the goal. Good. Exhaling at those end positions, inhaling as you transition through. Last 3. Last 2. We got last 1. Next time we grab onto that foot, we're gonna go into that hold. So finding that folded position through that upper body, holding on to that foot in front, relaxing through the shoulders, through that spine. Breathing there for this next minute. Good, deep inhale. And exhaling, lowering down. Nice. We'll take a deep inhale. And exhaling, lowering down gently. Good, holding on there. We'll take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Nice deep inhale. And we're gonna exhale when you're ready. Nice deep inhale here. And exhaling forward. Couple more deep breaths, you guys. Take a nice deep inhale if we can. And exhaling forward. Good. Last 2 deep breaths. We'll take last deep inhale. And exhaling, coming up from there nice and slow. We're gonna open up that leg one more time. Out to the side, nice and far, as open as you can through that hip. We're gonna reach that opposite arm up and over the body, trying to reach through, touch that toe if we can. Coming back through, other arm up and over. Big reach through that side of the body, so not just that shoulder hugging into the neck. Reaching through that entire side rib cage, through that oblique. Good. Exhaling at the end. Inhaling through the middle. Let's do last two. Let's do last one. We're gonna end up reaching for that foot and find that hold position. Get yourself comfortable, reaching that one arm up and over the head, finding that stretch through the oblique, through that side of the rib. Close your eyes here, focusing on that breath. Trying also to get that sits bones so that both sides of the glutes down onto the floor if we can. It's going to feel natural for one side to lift more than the other, but trying to reach both sides to touch the floor if we can. Good, holding it there for a bit longer, a couple more deep breaths. We are going to go 10 minutes over today, so if anyone needs to leave right at 8, it's 8:05, sorry. Holding their last few deep breaths. Let's take last deep inhale. And exhaling, coming back up to center, slowly releasing those legs. We're gonna go last part in butterfly one more time. We're gonna open up those hips completely to finish off the class. Option again to sit on that yoga block, now is a good time. Otherwise, sitting on the floor, feet together, nice and close into the body, okay? Nice proud chest here, and we're gonna place those hands on top of the knees, and we're gonna try to push those knees down, okay? And we're gonna come back up, releasing, and then pushing down again, okay? You should feel that upper body able to kind of fold over those feet. If you're not, I recommend sitting on a block so you have a bit more kind of lenience into that lean. Good. So just pressing down and up on your exhale as you press down. Inhale, coming back up each time. So going at your own pace, thinking about these as reps following your breath. And as time passes, you can try to press down a little bit more each time. Maybe feeling if one knee is struggling a bit more than the other to get down towards the mat. Becoming aware of that, where that limitation is holding on, whether that's that inner thigh or that outer hip or that lower back even. We'll do last two here. Inhaling and exhaling as you press. We'll do last one. We're gonna exhale, pressing down as far as you can, and we're gonna hold it there. Just breathe regularly here. We're holding here for 1 minute. So opening up through that inner thigh, up through those hip bones, through that glute as well. Applying pressure into those knees, trying to get them nice and close to the floor if we can. Good. You can let that head hang nice and heavy in front of you. Got a couple more deep breaths here. Maybe leaning slightly more forward, a little bit more pressure into those knees for these last 3 breaths. Last 2 deep breaths here. And we've got last deep inhale. And exhaling, coming slowly back out of that position. Maybe hugging your knees in, feet get placed on the floor. Slowly coming up out of that butterfly position. We can hug those knees in for a second. Maybe roll out those ankles. Good, both directions. And from there, coming back onto your feet on the floor in front of you. Reaching forward, pressing onto your hands on the floor. Hips are gonna come up, and we're gonna walk those feet hip width apart here. Folding forward, rounding through that spine. Holding that position. Inhales, exhales here as you round through that spine. You can start flexing out one knee at a time here. Maybe hooking your elbows, swaying side to side. Small bend in those knees as you do that. Maybe hugging behind those knees, pulling yourself in a little bit closer. Head is hanging nice and heavy. Either holding there or clasping those hands behind you, flipping those palms if you can, and allowing those palms or hands to fall towards the floor. A couple of deep breaths here. Last deep inhale. Exhaling, dropping those arms from wherever you are and slowly rolling back up. Head comes up last. And you guys are ready to go. I hope you enjoyed. Well done. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great night. Hopefully you feel nice and relaxed through the hips. Good.